Pistons try to clinch, Wings try to stay alive. All part of a busy sports night for the Motor City. We'll have details.
A massive fire breaks out on Detroit's east side. We'll have a live update.
Is it possible for vendors to get a fair deal from the DOT? Mike Wendland has a special I-Team report.
And there may be hope for you and your Fuzzbuster after all.
Also tonight, a school bus crash in Jackson leaves one person dead.
And love may be back in bloom for Lee and Peggy Iacocca.
I'm Mort Krim with Carmen Harlan. News 4 Night Beat is next.
A third more. Drink free. Just come in and buy a flame-broiled juicy Whopper, large fries, and regular drink. Don't miss the double bonus combo. A third more fries and drink free at Burger King.
The specials at Farmer Jack are so special, it's now you see them, but after Sunday, you won't. Save on quarter-inch lean trim USDA choice full-cut beef round steak, just $1.55 a pound, only till Sunday. Farm-made ice cream, half-gallon carton, assorted flavors, just 98 cents, only till Sunday. And California head lettuce, large 24 size, just 49 cents each, but only till Sunday. One supermarket is better than the rest. Farmer Jack.
Oh, yeah. For you, Harry.
Ameritech Pages Plus.
Well, I have one. But it's this year's. With the new senior savings program, it's the directory that really has it all. Oh. The savings rainbow in here. All in store windows means special savings. Only for us.
There's a special senior information section full of helpful tips.
Senior citizen, huh?
Welcome to the club.
The Senior Savings Program from Ameritech Pages Plus. Next to the phone, there's nothing better.
Stereo, 24 hours a day, only on Channel 4.
News 4 Night Beat with Mort Krim and Carmen Harlan. Bernie Smilovitz with sports. Brian Tegland in Weather Watch and the News 4 Night Team.
Championship hopes are stirring in Detroit tonight. Both the Red Wings and the Pistons look for victory in their playoff battles. And battle they did. Good evening. It was do or die for the Detroit Red Wings tonight. They had to win in order to stay alive in their playoff series against the Toronto Maple Leafs. For the Pistons, a victory over the Washington Bullets meant a clean sweep and one step closer to that championship crown. News 4's Bernie Smilovitz is joining us now from the newsroom to report on just how the home teams fared tonight. Bernie?
2 for 2 more. Detroit sports teams came through with flying colors tonight in the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs. At Joe Louis, the Red Wings forced Game 6 in Toronto on Friday night. They beat the Maple Leafs 3-0. We've got highlights beginning the first period. I'm sorry, this is the Bullets. 4 seconds to go. Bullets cannot get a shot off. The Pistons win this game 97-96 and eliminate the Bullets in the NBA playoffs. The Pistons will now move on. At Joe Louis tonight, the Red Wings beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is Lee Norwood with the slap shot that will beat Ken Reggett, and that's all they needed tonight because Glenn Hanlon was brilliant in goal right now. A hot goaltender as the Wings beat the Leafs 3-0. They go to Toronto for Game 6 on Friday night. We'll have complete highlights and interviews for you coming up in a few moments, but a big night and a very successful one for Detroit sports.
More sports scene's getting exciting around here.
Oh,
again.
yeah. It certainly is.
Thanks,
you know,
Bernie.
Heating up.
The cheering could be heard all over Metro Detroit tonight with area sports fans celebrating 2 big victories. News 4's Nona Barbie is standing by at Joe Louis Arena where the hockey fans are ecstatic. Nona, we can understand why.
That's right. Now they're screaming out in the parking lot. Joe Louis is empty, but tonight the fans did call this one. Everyone I talked with said Detroit would pull this one out of the fire. They ate up the Maple Leafs, and the fans ate up the action.
On the draw, Norwood, top of the circle with a drive to score!
I think the Wings will play real hard tonight. They'll be aggressive, you know. They'll win, no question.
Yes, the smart money was on the Red Wings tonight, at least here in Detroit. Joe Louis Arena was humming with the kind of karma that seemed to will the Wings to win.
They're not going to go into a shell and play defensively. They don't have anything to lose. So they'll play real aggressive for 3 periods, and they should win.
The fans are pumped tonight, and their confidence in the Wings is fierce. We even have a Maple Leaf fan out here rooting for Detroit.
They have to win. I think they're going to be pumped. I think it's going to be a rough game, and I think they're going to win. And I hope to win so there's another game, because I'm a hockey fan.
I'm home from school, and I hope they do it. They got to do it because I haven't been to a game in a long time, and I'm excited to be here.
The fans down here, they know hockey. Red Wing fans, they're good hockey fans, and they're going to see the game, the flow of the game, the first period, and after that, I think we're going to come out and charge, and we're going to be there.
So the Detroit faces off against Toronto Sunday, and they'll probably be cheered on by a sellout crowd here at Joe Louis, no doubt still delirious from tonight's victory. Mort, Carmen?
All right, Nona.
How sweet it is.
We can still
That's
hear
right.
them, too.
Yeah. All the way live, all the way from Joe Louis Arena. But while there's a lot of celebrating going on in Detroit tonight, firefighters are still at the scene of a blaze, which kept them busy for most of the evening. News 4's Steve Gray is joining us now live from the scene of that fire on the city's east side. Steve?
Mort, firefighters are keeping an eye on what remains of 11 acres of wooden pallets. It took a 4-alarm response to put out the fire that was fanned by very strong winds. The fire started in the center of Pallet Transportation Company's East Side yard. It threatened what amounts to 4 football fields full of pallets.
The wind was a real problem. There was like 1 or 2 piles of pallets burning when the first companies got here, and inside of 20 minutes, it just took off.
In addition to the wind, firemen had to contend with obstacles including railroad tracks and downed power lines. After more than an hour, the fire was contained, but not before it wiped out an estimated 30,000 pallets. This 4-alarm fire comes nearly 6 weeks after the 5-alarm blaze that claimed the lives of 3 firemen. City Councilman David Eberhard, who questioned tactics in the warehouse fire last month, says he's been monitoring recent fires.
I'm convinced the fire department has been more cautious since that particular time. Not necessarily pulling back, but being more cautious. And I think that we learn from each experience, and I think that's healthy.
I talked to firemen on the scene tonight who said, yes, they were cautious with this particular fire. In fact, they waited until they had a very good fix on where the fire was before they actually had men in the yard working on those pallets. I also talked to a battalion chief who reminded me that the job of the Detroit firefighters is to put out fires, and that's exactly what they did tonight. Mort?
I realize it's early for an investigation, but they have any preliminary cause?
At this point, they're not really sure. Some firefighters told me they thought it was suspicious. There have been 3 fires here in the past year, or 2 years, I should say. There has been some suspicious activity in the yard in the past couple weeks, so much so, in fact, that the firm that owns the yard hired a guard just this week to keep an eye on things.
All right.
Thank you, Steve. There's good news at Ford tonight. Ford earned a record $1.5 billion in the first quarter of this year. That's up 105% from a year ago. It's also more than GM and Chrysler earned combined. Ford had worldwide sales of $18 billion on more than 1.6 million vehicles. UAW leaders say Ford should expect to share some of the wealth when contract negotiations begin later this year. The House of Representatives is getting tough on trade tonight. Lawmakers have approved a measure to make Japan and other nations cut their trade surpluses or face U.S. sanctions. Representative Richard Gephardt says it'll help reduce the trade deficit and save jobs. The vote came just before Japanese Prime Minister Nakasone arrived in Washington. He'll ask that tariffs recently imposed on some Japanese imports be lifted. Carmen?
A conservative fundraiser for the Contras has pleaded guilty tonight to the first criminal charge in the Iran-Contra scandal. Carl Channel is accused of cheating the government out of taxes by telling contributors their donations were tax-deductible. While in court, he named fired White House aide Oliver North as a co-conspirator. Closing arguments are scheduled for tomorrow in the retrial of Ronald Ebens. The defense rested its case this afternoon without calling Ebens to the stand. A county medical examiner who supervised Chin's autopsy did testify. He said Chin died after 1 blow to the head. The prosecution contends Ebens repeatedly struck Chin with a baseball bat.
Well, don't throw away your fuzzbuster just yet. A state House committee today threw out a proposed ban on the devices while voting to boost Michigan's speed limit to 65 on rural interstates. The House Transportation Committee rejected the proposed ban after hearing from detective supporters who say a ban would cost jobs, hurt tourism, and violate the rights of current owners of those detectors. The move sets up a showdown with the Senate, which wants to make the devices illegal.
Still to come on the Night Beat, 1 person's dead after a school bus crash in Jackson, and can vendors get a fair shake from the DOT? Mike Wendland and the I-Team report.
Also, Bernie will be back to show us the rough road one Kentucky Derby entry took to the race.
I'm Brian Teglin. 75 degrees for us today. Not a record high, but I'd gladly take another one just like it. We'll see if we can dig one up for you in the forecast coming right up.
I got a feeling for my hometown.
1
when it's time to sell your home, you want action.
And that's what you get with the Century 21 Action Warranty.
My personal promise of service, in writing.
No one else offers the Century 21 Action Warranty. But then, nobody sells more homes than Century 21.
For complete details, call a participating office.
And put the Action Warranty to work for you. Century 21, the hometown advantage. Take the ride of your life at your Greater Detroit Olds dealers.
There's only a few days left to take advantage of 3.9 APR GMAC financing.
Or, depending on the options you buy, get up to $1,200 cash back.
Take the cash or use it toward your down payment.
Get the ride now.
When the sun sets on April 30th, it's all over.
Only at your 18 Greater Detroit Olds dealers.
In Hamtramck, Central Olds,
Mount Clemens, Bill Lee Olds,
Detroit Olson Olds,
and Lake Point Olds, First Point Park.
Hello.
Hi, Dad.
Oh, hi, honey. Hang on, I'll get your mother.
What? You don't want to talk to me?
Well, usually you and your mom.
Well, this time I need my pop.
Yeah?
I'm thinking of quitting
It's so easy to make someone's day, especially when you can dial direct and save with Michigan Bell long-distance discounts.
I love you, Dad.
Call today.
What was that?
Our daughter.
Didn't she want to talk to me?
Nope.
Baseball cards. Seems like you could never get an Al K-line. Still, you treasured all the statistics, the personal items, the trivia. In a way, that's what WDIV brings you. We just make it a little more exciting.
The Tigers take on the A's Friday at 10.
The Jackson County man is dead and 8 people injured after a car crashed into a school bus today. State police say 21-year-old Kurt Shong was killed when the car he was steering plowed into the bus near Jackson. Police say the car was being towed. It blew a tire and swung into the path of the oncoming bus. Officials say the driver of the bus and 7 youngsters were injured in the accident but were treated and released.
It's called by some the dirty business at the Detroit Department of Transportation. After 3 months of investigating, the I-team uncovered evidence of payoffs, bribery, and kickbacks at the DOT. News 4's Mike Wendland joins us now to tell us about some of the unfair practices used by bus officials in awarding work contracts. Mike?
Well, Carmen Moore, one of the most serious problems that we've uncovered has to do with the way that contracts are awarded at the DOT for various works. We have found that there are serious indications of mismanagement and favoritism.
Black Manufacturing of Detroit repairs buses for cities like Pittsburgh and Miami and earned the Michigan Minority Vendor of the Year award in 1986. But owner Benny Harris says he is shut out of work in Detroit because the city doesn't play fair.
It's no one-to-force implication of the lowest bidder. The lowest bidder is a farce. It's not true, and it doesn't work.
Harris and other vendors contacted by the I-team say the city plays favorites.
If we win the contract, all contracts are rejected. And then it goes up for rebid, and we don't get it.
A recent report by the Detroit Auditor General confirms irregularities in the DOT's bidding procedures, noting that bids are often improperly recorded and opened in private. But the I-team has found still another problem. Some firms are getting lucrative contracts without ever having to bid the work. For example, DOT Employee Education.
When the DOT decided to train its managers this spring, they didn't bid the job, but gave it to a firm called the Reynolds Group, whose address is in this Detroit co-op. It also happens to be the residence of Dr. Betty Reynolds, who has worn 2 confusing hats at DOT. Reynolds has been doing training as DOT's interim Human Resources Development Coordinator, and in that job, she worked under 2 6-month contracts totaling $100,000. Meanwhile, her company, the Reynolds Group, conducted 2 seminar series and earned more than $203,000 without competitive bidding. We decided to check out one of her DOT seminars held at a suburban motel.
You do not do that in my seminar.
Any shot at all, because, look,
no.
You do not invade a private seminar.
You will be sued to death.
You do not.
Even though public funds paid for this, Reynolds wouldn't let us observe. In fact, when our photographer showed up, DOT officials hurried out of the room, hiding their faces. Except for this man, who kept taking our picture. Dr. Reynolds says that there was no conflict or double dipping going on here, that the two jobs she did for the DOT were distinctly different. She says that because she already knew the problems in her first job, she was then, through her company, most qualified to work on solving them in the second.
Mike, what does the DOT say about these contract irregularities?
Well, DOT boss Robert Polk declined an interview with the I-Team, but in responding to a critical Auditor General's report earlier this month, the department acknowledged there were problems in the bidding procedures and said that they were trying to take corrective action.
The mayor's got to say something soon, doesn't he?
Hasn't so far.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Ronnie DeSillers, the 7-year-old Florida boy who received 3 liver transplants, died in Pittsburgh tonight. DeSillers had received an outpouring of support during his ordeal from President Reagan and thousands of Americans. He died while waiting for a 4th liver transplant.
Chrysler Chairman Lee Iacocca and his wife Peggy may be getting back together after all. Sources close to the couple say the two are ready to go public with their reconciliation, possibly tomorrow. The Free Press says that could happen tomorrow night at a private party at New York's Posh 21 Club. Iacocca filed for divorce last December, only 8.5 months after he and Peggy had tied the knot. Carmen?
Bernie's up next with a look at this busy night for Detroit sports teams.
And later on the night beat, WrestleMania of a different sort.
When you're working on a project, it helps to have quality tools, like this Makita Home Tech 7 1/4-inch circular saw. It's heavy duty, balanced for control, cuts 90 and 45-degree angles, and it's only $87 at Builder's Square. So for your next project, turn to Makita and Builder's Square. We're America's largest home improvement warehouse, because the more we sell, the lower the price. The lower the price, the more we sell.
You know what drives me nuts about Detroit? It's the radio stations. Check it out. I'm supposed to make a choice here? Why doesn't a radio station really play just classic rock? The Stones, Doors, Seeger, and Springsteen. Like this.
94.7 WCSX, all classic rock in the Detroit tradition. For the latest winning lottery numbers, call the official lottery line, 1-976-2020.
One morning long ago, the sun came up, and with it, something new.
Dan, interest you in this new morning paper?
Got no time to read a paper, Virgil.
Good paper, Ben. You'll find the time.
It was the beginning of a tradition. People here spending a few quiet moments with the morning free press. The sun came up again this morning, and like the past 57,000 mornings, the tradition came with it.
Come drive the new Mazda 323 SE. It's technically sophisticated with front-wheel drive and four-wheel independent suspension standard. It's also the only car under $7,000 that gives you a 5-speed fuel injection and oversized tires, all standard. But best of all, it's just plain fun to drive. So come on.
Get a great deal at Seaway Motors, Ann Arbor Mazda, Anthony Mazda, and Porterfield Wilson Mazda.
Calvin Klein's obsession for men. I'd know him in the dark.
Exclusively at Hudson's.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I haven't seen this much excitement among Detroit sports fans since the day Bernie Smilovitz went on the air.
Yeah, we like that. I like that. All right, everyone is alive and well in the playoffs tonight at the Capitol Center. The Pistons eliminate the Bullets. At Joe Louis, the Red Wings are headed back to Toronto for Game 6. They shut out the Maple Leafs tonight 3-0. We've got highlights. We'll begin in the first period. Mel Bridgman will take the draw. He will get it to Lee Norwood. Norwood will set up, and he will fire away on Ken Reggett. Beats him 1-0. The Wings led it. Second period, watch the great effort here by Adam Oates. He gets the loose puck. He wheels. He fires. Beats Reggett. 2-0 Wings. Glenn Hanlon was brilliant in goal tonight. 30 saves. Watch the kick save. There and gone. Third period, Adam Oates will come up with a shot. It'll be deflected by Brent Ashton out front. The Wings win it 3-0 and head back to Toronto. They're down 3-2, but I'll tell you what, they got a ton of confidence behind them. Standing by live at Joe Louis right now, Scott Wally, and he has Adam Oates. Scott.
Adam Oates, that's right, Bernie. Adam Oates with a goal and an assist. Talk about confidence. How confident is this team now after a do-or-die victory tonight?
Well, you know, we're really confident because we went into Toronto, played 2 real good games, won one, and got a bad break on the other. But, you know, we're going in there with the momentum, and we're going to do our best to pull it out.
What about Glenn Hanlon tonight? He was superb.
He's been superb the last 3 games. He's been everything you could ask for him. You know, we didn't get him to win the other night, and we should have. And tonight the boys came through, and he just played stellar again. And what more can you ask?
All right, Game 6. You've got to get the early jump, don't you? That seems to be essential.
Yeah, I think we're a much better team when we get the early lead, and I think the key is also that, you know, they're going to come out to a big ovation from their fans, and we're going to have to play relaxed and frustrate them early and wait for our chance and then put it in.
Congratulations, Adam Oates. Great game tonight.
Thank you.
Good luck in Game 6.
Thanks.
This series heading back to Toronto. Bernie, back to you.
All right, Scott, I know you feel the same way. I think it's coming back here on Sunday, too.
Yep.
All right, news is just as good for the Detroit Pistons tonight. They beat the Washington Bullets 97-96. They eliminate the Bullets in 3 straight, and the Pistons won it on a Rick Mahorn free throw with 4 seconds left. We've got highlights beginning the second quarter. Adrian Dantley will come up with the little spin move of 360, puts it in. He had 21, Pistons by 3. Later, Dennis Rodman with a nice baseline move and the finger roll. The Pistons trailed it, though, 46-45 at this point. Third quarter, Isaiah on the run, gets it back to Bill Lambier. He will slam it. Pistons led 60-57, but Moses Malone came to play tonight. He had 31. Here he hits it. The Bullets led by 7 in the fourth, but the Pistons tied it. It came down to Rick Mahorn with 4 seconds left. He hit the free throw. The Bullets could not get a shot off. That was it. Pistons move on. They beat the Bullets 97-96.
It's important to win a close game because, you know, I think it gives you confidence down the road. But to win a close game on the road, I think is even more important. That gives you confidence, hey, we can win on the road in the playoffs. So I think it's a big victory.
And Vinny had 21. The news gets even better for the Pistons tonight. Indiana beat Atlanta 96-87. That means the Pistons will rest. These 2 teams continue to battle. Hawks lead that series 2-1. We've got highlights beginning the second quarter. Vern Fleming on the run for Indiana. He goes down the lane. He gets fouled. Pacers by 16, but the Hawks came back in the third. Dominique gets the ball out of his way. He had 22 with the big slam, but down the stretch, the Pacers were tough. Chuck Person had 23 hits here. They trail 2-1. Milwaukee tonight beat Philadelphia 121-120. We've got highlight 1 to show you from this game. It's Jack Sikma, 2 seconds left. Sikma gets it down the lane, puts it up. It's blocked, gets it back, puts it in. They lead that series 2-1. Baseball. Tigers and Angels are scoreless, playing the third in Anaheim. And finally tonight, the big question is, who will win the Kentucky Derby? Well, if you want to pick a horse that defies the odds, take Momentous. We've got highlights of his second start as a 2-year-old last year. He has the lead, but watch, he gets spooked by something off the course, heads right out, and boom, into the 8th pole. He suffered 4 broken ribs, 178 stitches. You're going to see it one more time. Something distracted this horse. He came back. It's an amazing story that he recovered. Even more amazing, he is going to run in the Kentucky Derby on Saturday.
Wow.
That is unbelievable.
Oh, it's really...
And he recovered. It's
Whoever you pick, I go with.
We're going tomorrow night.
Momentous.
Derby pick tomorrow night. No, we haven't picked Momentous.
Bookies don't call you Triple Crown Bernie for nothing.
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
All right, thank you, Brady. Can we expect a repeat of today's beautiful weather? Brian has the answer as the night beat continues.
If you've been waiting and waiting and waiting until the day you could afford the Buick you really want, stop waiting. You can get 3.9% financing on new Buick Skyhawks. Plus, you can get 3.9% financing or up to $1,200 cash back on 18 other new Buick models. Length of finance contract is limited. Hurry to your Metro Buick dealers, because now you can afford a new Buick, but you can't afford to wait.
See Fisher Buick Troy, Superior Buick Dearborn, or Dry Spot Buick Pontiac. Need a little help around the house? Look in the book where you've always found it.
Let's see. Roofers. Roofers.
Ameritech Pages Plus, the original Michigan Bell Yellow Pages. Need a phone number in a hurry?
Hello, Pete's Pest Control. I've got a slight insect problem.
There's only one place you know you'll find it.
How fast can you get here?
Ameritech Pages Plus. Next to the phone, there's nothing better.
Power
Power 96 zookeeper Michael J. Fox.
Everybody's got a birthday, and if your birthday matches the one in this envelope, you could win $5,000 this Thursday morning. How? Easy. Set your radio to Power 96. That's 96.3 FM. Listen at 7:20 this Thursday morning. We'll announce the birthday in this envelope. If it matches yours, you can win $5,000.
Power 96. More music, more fun, and more free money.
Tomorrow morning at 7:20, somebody's gonna win $5,000. Put your radio on Power 96 FM tonight.
Hi, I'm Mr. Aco, Aco Hardware's handyman. Aco's money-saving weekly circular is for all you do-it-yourselfers.
Redecorate with tremendous savings on Norwal pre-pasted solid vinyl wallpaper. An unbelievable $4.49 a roll with coupon. All other patterns in stock are half off.
And here's another circular saver.
Decorate your patio door with beautiful Newell vertical blinds. Simple to install and easily cleaned. Now just $49.96. You save $30.
You really save when you shop at Aco Hardware.
Here's another great value from the new Great Scott. This week only, stay-free maxi pads and silhouette maxi pads, just $3.66.
The new Great Scott is the one. The new Great Scott.
Settle down, Carmen.
What's that mean? Well, the weather's been so nice that it's hard not to be excited about it.
Wonderful. We have a live shot, I think, looking outside the front door right now. We have, this is what's going on.
Wow.
No, it's a joke. That's what's going on in the northeastern part of the country. There was snow out there today. Clear skies for us. 51 degrees at City Airport, Metro 52. I had everyone in the control room going, what is he talking about? 35% the relative humidity. We have a rising barometer. Gusty winds up to 25 miles an hour. High for the day today was, and be thankful for it, 75, nothing to shovel. No snow, 43 the low. All right, 80s and 90s across the Midwest. 90s, Kansas City had a record high today of 92. The 80s got darn close. Toledo hit 82, 75 for us, 50s across the eastern part of the Upper Peninsula. High temperatures across Michigan today, well, we had the 75, right around 60 at Houghton Lake and Alpena, mid-50s across the Upper Peninsula, and at 11 o'clock with basically clear skies, although the Sioux reporting mostly cloudy conditions, 41 degrees at Alpena, Traverse City at 40, and Metro at 52 degrees. Here's a satellite view for the nation. Cooler temperatures coming in behind this front, mostly fair across the southeast. If you'll notice the bright clouds across Kansas, Nebraska, some heavy thunderstorms there, some hail, some gusty winds, and across the west you'll notice all the clouds out there, a lot of showers and scattered thunder showers from Montana all the way down into Arizona, Nevada, California, widely scattered stuff. There's some heavier thunderstorms over northern Kansas, also southern Iowa, and the rain that's left over in New England. A little bit of light snow, nothing that will accumulate in northern New England tonight. We'll be right around 40 degrees. The winds will continue rather gusty tonight, so that'll keep the temperatures up. Some spots could get into the upper range of the 30s around here, in the 20s across eastern part of the Upper Peninsula. For tomorrow, sunshine, but those temperatures just won't warm up. 60 degrees for a high tomorrow in the extended forecast. I think you'll like this. This is sprinkles. Don't let that fool you. Sprinkles and some light rain on Friday, and temperatures not bad, up to near 70 degrees by the weekend. So for tonight, no snow, just fair skies for the most part. Overnight low near 40 degrees, northwest wind at 10 to 15 for your day tomorrow. Mostly sunny near 60, and for Friday, partly sunny, a few sprinkles and a high 65 to 68 degrees. My apologies to the director. Didn't mean to freak everybody out there.
Yeah, it was just the snow, you know. And it's May almost, right?
And finally, we have this note from the Westin Hotel, where things may never be the same following, well, it wasn't exactly WrestleMania. Fans got a chance to see their favorite sport Oriental style. Here it is now. We're going to show you. It was worse than WrestleMania, as Japanese sumo wrestlers battled each other for the Detroit Championship. The sumos bounced, bucked, and bashed their bodies around the mat until it was sayonara time for the losers. The wrestlers in the Westin may never be the same. I felt a lot of shaking. I thought all it was coming from Joe Louis Arena. But
they make the refrigerator look normal, don't they? Anyway, that's the night beat for this. Is it Wednesday night? Our full report of News 4 will be tomorrow morning at 6:30.
Thanks for joining us. For Carmen and all of us on the Night Beat, I'm Mort Grimm. Have a good night.
Good night.
Arby's.